Now, with 123 hit singles, he's had more top 10 and top 20 hits than any other recording artist. His career spans 5, in fact, I think it's 6 decades, and he's still recording and touring. Who is he? The one and only Sir Cliff Richard. We're going to be chatting to him in a moment, but first, let's get a taste of that remarkable 43-year career.
Got myself a crying, talking, sleeping, walking, living doll. Got to do my best to please her just 'cause she's a living doll. Living doll! I got a roving eye and that is why she satisfies my soul. Fies my soul! Fies my soul! What does this button do? Look at her head. Well, it's so real and if you don't believe what I say, just feel. Do I know this girl? Lock her up in her trunk, so no big hunk can steal her away from me. She's just a devil woman with evil on her mind. Beware the devil woman, she's gonna get you. She's just a devil woman with evil on her mind. Beware the devil woman. Christmas time, Christmas time. Children singing Christian rhymes. He is calling you on the Savior's day. Let all the world sing with one voice. Let the people sing amen.
And here he is, Sir Cliff. It's
Hello.
fantastic to see you. Thank you
you.
very much for coming in. We saw some of your Christmas hits there. We said at the beginning of the show it wouldn't be Christmas unless we had a Cliff single, but you didn't do one last year, did you? You don't do one every year.
I didn't. I don't do one every. Well, no. Most of us record records to have hits, and so if you want to sell records, the best time to sell them is between October and December. People buy more records.
But
then.
there's much more competition at Christmas time, though.
Oh yeah, it just means that if you do get to the #1 slot anywhere in that period of time, you're going to have to elbow your way past all the big guns, and therefore it's slightly more satisfying. But everyone thinks that I'm the only one that does that. Of course, I wish I was. I mean, can you imagine if no one released a record at Christmas, I'd have the #1 every year. So it doesn't work that way. I've only had, I say only, I'm not grumbling. I think there's been 4 Christmas #1s that I've had over 43 years. So it's not as though I have a monopoly on it.
It's 4 more than a lot of other people have had.
Oh,
though, isn't
absolutely.
it?
That's why I'm not
Yes,
grumbling.
Exactly. And what about all the competition? Here's, say, Robbie, Atomic Kitten.
Oh,
whoever it
everybody's
is.
out
Yeah.
there, and they're all
Yeah.
good. That's the trouble. I wish they were all horrible.
Do you listen to a lot of the chart stuff?
I listen to what I can hear. Whatever I get to hear, I hear. I can't keep up with it all, though. I notice that when I look in the charts and I think, well, 75% of these names I do not know. And if
Join
a
the club.
journalist- Well, that's right, but if a journalist says to me, do you know this band? I'm always honest to say, no, I haven't heard of them, but ask me in 3 or 4 years' time.
Yeah.
If they're around, I will have heard of them, if they're still there.
Well,
There's some talk in the papers today, actually. It's in the Sun newspaper about George Harrison, and there's a sort of movement now to get My Sweet Lord released for Christmas. I mean, that would presumably be quite strong competition.
It would be #1, I've no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I've no doubt
Are you
about
in
it.
favour of that kind of thing? These sort of
Well, I mean, it's inevitable. It's happened before. You know, Elvis, when he died,
Yeah.
Elvis sold more records after he died. And obviously fans are in mourning and therefore will want to have that last memory of a famous person. And so therefore I can understand them doing it.
Did you ever meet George? I mean, you must have crossed paths with him.
We crossed paths really early. I met the Shadows and I were already going for 5 years before they started, remember? So we met them as they were the new boys. And Bruce Welsh of the Shadows had a party in his house and we all got into, everyone ends up in the kitchen. And I remember they'd had Love Me Do, which was a kind of mediocre, number 30, I think. And then Please Please Me, which was a big hit for them. And they sat around that kitchen table, grabbed Bruce's guitar and said, we don't know what's going to happen. What do you think of this? And they went, da-da-down, da-da-down, down, down. And we all went, oh, this is going to be dreadful competition. Really good stuff. And then they made it so big. We went our separate ways. I topped my shows and they topped the bill on their shows.
Yes.
And we're so huge in the States, which I never was. So we never really met up until I met Paul at Abbey Road many, many years after they'd broken up.
Incredible, isn't it? What about Pop Idol? Have you been following that?
No, I've been working really hard this year. I had a year off, and to make up for it, they've really slogged me once.
Have they?
And so I haven't had a chance to watch that much television, but I've kept an eye on it of what's happening.
Yeah.
They're about to sort of tell us who's won, aren't they?
Well, we've got 10 people in the finals, and
Yeah.
then now over the next...
10 in the final,
Yeah.
not
There's
even You mean not even 2 in the final 10?
Well, yeah, now we've got to whittle down to the pop
More
idol.
tears.
Well, how long
more
is that going to
tears.
take, though?
Oh, quite a few more weeks yet.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh,
but
dear. Well,
it's
he
fascinating.
or she better be good.
Yeah.
They've got a lot to live up to. At least those of us that sort of fought our way through did it kind of fairly slowly.
Now, I mean, I'm thinking about it right at the beginning there, said like 123 hit singles, and you said they're working you really hard at the moment. Don't you ever feel like, I don't know, kicking back, putting your slippers on,
Yeah, I
watching TV?
I do feel like that. I mean, I'm trying to. It doesn't seem like it, but I took a year off and thought to myself, what I must do now is enjoy my career. And I don't want to retire, but I'd like to pull back a little, slow down. But it hasn't been that way. I mean, I've spent the last 5 weeks promoting the new album and single, and I've got another 1.5, 2 weeks to go. That is much more promotion than I've ever done before. And when I was 18, if I did 5 interviews in the week, I thought I was going over the top. So it's crazy that at 18 I didn't do anywhere near as much work as this.
And you've been in the television studio a lot. You did that lovely show very recently, The Ones That Got Away, bang up against Robbie on the other side.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Which one did you watch?
I wasn't in the country, I watched neither of them.
There you are. Good question, good answer. And then you've just recorded a lovely show. It's coming out next week, I think, isn't it?
The Way They Were.
The Way They Were.
Yeah, I've never done a show like that before. They asked me to host a show where, in a way, I would be doing what you do. You're used to talking to people. I'm not. I'm usually talked at.
Yeah.
And it was a show showing clips of film of famous stars, really famous stars, in situations where either they were doing auditions and didn't get the job, or they were 5 years old or 10 years old, and to see how they are now.
Which names did you have?
Oh, we showed pictures of Bowie, Madonna, I mean a whole load of people. It's surprising, including myself. And I interviewed, would you believe, and met Donny Osmond, and Lulu, the gorgeous Lulu came on.
Oh.
We sang a duet together too. So it's on Wednesday at 9:45, I think, next
ITV.
Wednesday. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned as well Pop Idol and some of the younger bands out there. And the new album, Wanted, is covers, and it's the first time you've ever done a covers album in
Yeah,
all
I
this
mean,
time.
there's all sorts of reasons why. You know, without going into any detail, it's very hard to have the public hear your record these days, but certainly if you're someone of my age.
Do you feel the radio's against you, or
No, I don't think they're against anybody really, but for whatever reason, some of us don't get play, and it doesn't really matter anymore. But it means that we've had to think of a new way of selling the records, and therefore, and it works. It did work with Millennium Prayer. You go on television a lot. It's much more expensive. The record company have to be prepared to spend a lot of money buying that 10-second or 30-second shot, and they buy time on the radio. So some radio stations that don't play my records or anybody's, we buy a commercial there. So at least you get heard
Good idea.
throughout the day. But it just means that TV has taken a big place in our lives, and of course a large chunk of the budget as well.
But here's the CD.
Why
It's
did we get onto
called
that?
Wanted.
I didn't want to talk.
covers.
Oh,
Covers,
Because
yeah.
it's just all the young bands doing
It just
covers.
means that covers, if you do go onto a commercial on television, they already know the song. As soon as they hear you and see that it's you singing it, they already know it, so it's helpful.
The
That's all.
single you have from this new album is Somewhere Over the Rainbow mixed with What a Wonderful World. So
Yes.
and we're going to hear you singing that later. And also, What's Love Got to Do with it? The
Tina
Turner, which apparently came to your office before it went to her office.
Well, apparently it did. When I first heard her version, I loved it to death, and I used to sing it on stage partly, not with the band. I just used to say, if only I'd got this song, what's love got to do?
Yeah.
And I found out later that it had been sent to me, and somebody had said, I don't think it's right.
It went to Tina.
I don't know who it was, and I would forgive them.
But they're
because
fired.
These kind of things can happen.
They do happen, but it's a great
Lulu
song. But
did
now
it.
you get a chance to
But this is
sing
the
it.
second time it's happened to me. I personally turned down one song written by Neil Diamond called "The Boat That I Row Won't Cross." Lulu got it, and she had a huge hit with
Yes.
it. I could have killed her.
Listen, thank you so much for being here. I know you're going to be here all morning. We're working
Yes.
you deathly hard in your
That's
last
what I'm
couple of
here
weeks
for.
of promotion. Right, Cliff will be back with us when we come back, because Phil is putting you in the kitchen with Phil. He's found himself some help in the shape of... How can we do this to you? Cordon Cliff.
Well, I have a wine, you know. We
The man's a superstar.
Chateau Richard.
I can't believe the man's a superstar. He's cooking with me.
Oh, listen, I cook with anybody.
Oh dear, come
You're a
on.
good cook.
I can cook, you know. I always think if you can read, you can cook. That's why I said to you immediately, is this on paper somewhere? I can
Yeah.
take it away.
Okay.
But it's fun to cook, I think.
But the interesting thing is we're touching on canned foods. Now, you always said to me that you know,
canned.
when you come over from touring, you can pick it up. It's easy, dead simple.
Twice a week, at least twice a week, I do nothing but have chili con carne and smash.
Yes, I
Oh,
love
I love
Smash.
it. Canned
heard it here.
food is great.
It's great.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Have you had it mixed up with mint sauce, Smash?
No, I haven't
Try
tried
it.
that.
It's
fun.
that was a
usually
lamb
make it
chop.
with-
It's very
I usually
good.
make it with a load of butter.
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you might be
skinny.
sort of a bit healthy and not worry
Oh,
about
no, I just, sometimes I eat everything. That's why I say twice a week. The rest of the time I have pretty normally good food.
Right, well, let's concentrate on the food. Now, we're talking about canned foods, we've already mentioned today. Some foods can really well, things like apricots, pears, that sort of stuff.
Pineapples.
Very, very nice. Pineapples, yeah. I can remember as a child eating a tin pineapple and loving it, and then fresh pineapple hating it because it didn't take anything like
In fact,
the tin.
my preference is canned strawberries.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, fresh strawberries do nothing for me. I go to Wimbledon, watch them all eating, thinking, I can't wait to get back.
And they
Evaporated
taste
milk. Evaporated
Absolutely
milk and
right.
canned
Because
strawberries.
they're slushier, aren't they?
Yes.
Anyway, right, what do we think?
Anyway, but there are some ones which are awful, and that is things like raspberries don't tin very well, and this abomination where there's baked beans, chips, and omelettes, and you think it's come out in a tin, you can open it. Absolutely vile. I don't know who invented it, but
Oven-ready chips are okay, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
yeah, not
okay.
too bad.
okay,
Look,
but-
kids are chucking
Yeah,
them, can't
yeah.
You're a man of the people, aren't you?
Yeah. You heard it here.
Oven-ready chips.
Been there, done that.
Have you tried
Right.
microwave chips? They're very
no,
good.
I need to get
Frozen
those.
rice, that's our favourite.
Over here, right.
What have you got?
Very, very quick sweet corn soup, and it's dead simple. All you need is garlic, onions, rosemary, olive oil, sweet corn, green peppercorns, rice. There's a lot of ingredients, but dead simple.
Okay.
Salt and sugar. And all you do is you heat the olive oil and chuck in the rosemary and really
And
roast
the
it.
onions, by the looks of
Yes.
it. And garlic in there?
Yeah, and what you do is you get that wonderful flavour from the rosemary,
Oh,
okay?
great, yeah.
Dead simple.
And not afraid of the stalks either.
No, stalks come out later. You then add to that sweet corn, green peppercorns and rice. So rice gives the whole soup a nice bit of body and edge, similar to
Now that rice
potatoes.
is raw, isn't it? It's not cooked yet.
Raw, long grain rice.
Okay.
You can use frozen rice, chuck it in if you want, it's really up to you.
Yeah.
You then cook it up for about sort of 12 minutes, ends up like this. You then liquidize it, and it ends up just like this here. I'll show you here.
Look at that.
Look at this, look at this, look at this. It's
Oh,
a really
yeah, look at that. That
thick,
looks like
thick,
a
chunky
great
soup.
big lump of bread with that.
Now the pudding, this is what you can do. Right there. You
Okay.
hold that there, sir.
Yeah, what am I
right,
gonna
in
do?
here, this is a batter pudding, apricot batter pudding.
Bit of salt.
Bit of salt,
Yep.
honey.
Flour.
Honey.
This is the sweetening here, 4
Okay.
tablespoons of honey.
Which you've now not measured properly. have
No, but I'm a professional. So they say. 4 eggs. Here we've got brandy
Alcohol.
into there. Apricot brandy. Let's bring that nice. Look at this, and gradually add the milk. I don't want to get in your suit.
No, so I'll do it slowly.
There you go, top man. And then just that's fine. Bring it together. And you whisk it up. Don't over whisk it, because what happens is you end up with a really
do.
sort of glutinous
So it's best to
batter
do this
pudding.
more slowly, is it?
No,
Or
it's
is it
perfect,
like-
Cliff. You're doing top there.
Oh, am I?
In this pan here, I've got some butter which I've just melted, and then what you do is you add the batter, Cliff, which I think is nearly there.
Okay.
If you pour that into there for me,
Into where?
into
the
there,
butter?
all in.
Okay.
The whole lot. Don't worry if it's not mixed too perfectly. Like a Yorkshire pudding, it
All
will
right.
work. Beautiful. Now that must be hot,
Wow.
otherwise it will stick. You then dot in the apricots, which you just put in.
Okay.
It's a
So
sweet.
you haven't, when I poured that in, I didn't stir the butter into
No,
it,
no,
just leave it like
no.
that. Okay.
The whole thing will homogenise when it's cooked. You pop these in.
So tinned apricots that are
Tinned
drained.
apricots, which are wonderful, or pears or peaches, up to you, in the oven, gas 4 for about 35 minutes. Dead simple. Here's both the recaps.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
For the creamy, spicy sweet corn and rosemary soup, heat the olive oil, add the rosemary stalks and cook well. Add the onions and garlic and cook for 4 minutes to soften. Add the sweet corn, peppercorns, rice, stock, salt and sugar and cook for about 12 minutes or until the rice is soft. Remove the rosemary stalks and liquidize until smooth. For the apricot batter pudding, heat the butter in an oven-proof dish until very hot. Place the flour, salt, honey, eggs and brandy into a bowl and mix well. Add the milk gradually until you have a smooth batter. Pour the batter onto the heated dish, dot with the apricots and place in hot oven. Cook for 35 minutes until well puffed and serve with vanilla ice cream. And all the soup needs is a touch of milk into there. Cliff, have a quick taste of that.
Oh, do I stir it and taste it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
And hit the batter
Is this
pudding.
very hot? Am I gonna...
No, it should be okay.
got
It
to
shouldn't be
sing in a
too bad.
minute.
I don't want to, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious. And the
I'll have a
batter
second.
pudding there with a touch of
hungry?
cream. There
didn't
you
have
go, my
breakfast,
friend.
so-
Look at that.
Oh, look at this. I can't
Dead
believe
simple, dead quick, and
This
also
is-
very, very good value for money.
All right, I'll write the phone
And-
number down for you because you want the recipes, don't you? The recipes to call are
I've got recipes here.
090
There you go,
611. Oh, there they are.
Oh, this is
090 611
unbelievable.
04883. 090 611 04883. That's the fact sheet. Or you can look them up on our website or ITV Teletext. How's it going?
Any idiot could do this.
He's happy. Look, this is
And I will
good.
be able to.
When we come back, you'll be able to talk to the man himself. So Cliff will be taking your calls after this break. Yum, yum. Welcome back. Well, Sir Cliff is here in the hot seat and he's taking your calls. And we said to you in the break there, do you want to hear some of these questions? Because we've got some of them on a bit of paper here. And he said, no, I don't want to know. I want it all straight.
Well, I'd rather not know, because otherwise you start planning your answers, you know, and I always think that's a bit fake.
Good.
17 times 11?
Oh, I wish you'd warned me about that.
Right, we're going to go to Jane in Birmingham. Good morning, Jane.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're through to Cliff.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Cliff.
Hi, Jane. How are you doing?
Hello there. I'm very well, thank you.
Good,
Can I
good.
just say what a pleasure it is to speak to you today?
Oh, thank you.
And may I be one of the first people to wish you a very happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. You too as well, of course.
Thank you very much. My question is, if you were given the chance to change one thing next year, what would it be?
To change one thing?
Yeah, perhaps within the world or...
To really solve the world's problems, which is probably everybody's wish to do. I mean, everybody would want to change all the world's problems. It would take more than one thing. But I suppose the idealistic answer would be to say, you wish you could change all hate into love.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's a...
That's a
There's
very
no
good
other real
answer.
answer, is there? Because it's not going to happen that easily either. That can't happen overnight.
But it's the whole thing. If we all think that way and try
If
and
we
work
desire
that
it.
way, if we desire
Do you feel a
yes.
lot of pressure on you because of Christian beliefs and stuff like this to actually be out there changing the world?
Yes, there is. I did say once that being a public Christian, the mantle is quite a difficult one to bear. It's really hard to wear that. Everyone's expectance of you is something more than they would expect of everybody else, and it's a real, I find it really tough. But I mean, I've enjoyed the role of being a Christian and being publicly able to say my opinion, speak my opinion, and I've appreciated the privilege, but
Isn't it
it is
odd?
tough.
If you said you were Buddhist, somehow that wouldn't be such a burden, would it? There's a thing about being Christian, I think.
No, I don't know what it is. It's as though people think that Christians are goody two-shoes who think themselves better than everyone else. And the only thing I know for certain is that you can't really become a Christian unless you're aware of your own sin and
Shortcomings.
badness and shortcomings. So you have to constantly say, sorry, 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 all the time. It's not at all what people would think.
OK, yeah, let's go back to the phones then. Who have we got next?
As Tracy. Hello,
Tracy.
Tracy.
Hello,
Hello. You're in Cardiff this morning.
I am, yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
morning, Tracy.
Is it dull and wet over there?
No, it's nice and sunny at the moment.
Is it? You lucky old thing. Right, you're through to
Tom.
Cliff.
Hi Cliff, nice to speak to you.
Thank you.
Hi, what I would like to ask is of all your tours that you've done, each one's got its own theme. Which one is your favourite and why?
Well, I think probably the best one for me was, I called it the Silver Tour. I was celebrating my 25th year in show business, the 25th, the silver anniversary, and I did a show where we just splurged on the whole production, and I had every kind of moving lamp, laser lights, and it was just glorious to be in it. I used to love it. You know, because you can arrive in a theatre and feel really dragged out of the bushes because it's just you clapped out or not even well. You get on stage and a laser disc would go hit a mirror and there'd be a million bars of green light, and instantly you think, It was wonderful. I felt that was probably one of the best productions I'd ever done.
Brilliant, thanks a lot Cliff.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good luck with the new
Tracy.
album and single.
Oh, thank you very
Right,
much.
love you, bye.
OK, thanks for that, Tracy. Very nice words there. And let's have up Maureen, please. Hello, Maureen.
Hi, Cliff.
Hi there.
My question to you is, what are your tour plans for next year?
Well, it's interesting that you even know I'm going on tour, because we haven't actually made anything official.
Well, I'm just assuming you
Oh,
will
yeah.
be.
Good for you. Well, obviously, the Wanted album is in the charts now. We don't know, no one ever knows how high or what kind of success there's going to be involved with records. And as you know, my new single's out today. But next year I thought I should go, regardless of what happens to the recordings, I should go on tour and present that and perhaps even create more sales. So we're planning to tour in the autumn next year, probably starting somewhere in October, and we'll go right through, finishing probably in Europe. We'll probably do Britain and then go to Europe for a few days, and that'll probably end in the middle of December, something like that.
Is that
But
your
watch this space.
favourite bit? Is that your favourite bit of pop stardom, is going on the road and actually performing to the fans?
I like performing. When you say favourite bit, though, I think recording is my favourite bit. It is totally pressure-less. If I arrive in the studio and I have a bad throat, I say to Alan Tarney or whoever's producing, I can't sing. He'll say, don't worry, go home, have a rest. I'll get the guitarist in, or I'll put drums on, or I'll start a new track. There's no pressure.
Yes.
Whereas the thing about being live is that there's this vibrant reaction and response always from the audience, and you back with them. And I've heard artists talk about it, and none of us do adequately. We can't really explain, I don't think. There's a fantastic magic about being live. But it carries this burden about waking up in the morning thinking, please, let something come out tonight. Let my voice be okay.
Is that all right with you, Maureen?
Yes, that was super.
you.
I'd like to say that I was at Cliff's Silver Tour and
Oh.
it was magnificent.
Thank you very
And I'll
much.
be at his next one as well.
We've got the gold tour to come, haven't we?
Oh, the gold. The gold tour. That's a few years off yet.
We'll be there, though. Maureen,
Thank you
thank you
very
very
much.
much indeed. You've
you.
also been emailing into
Yeah,
us,
I've got loads of
and
emails.
Tracy Fleurs emailed us, where will you be spending Christmas and who will you be sharing it with?
Well, do you know, I've not quite got all my plans for Christmas ready yet. But what I normally do is my sister comes over. I have one sister that doesn't celebrate Christmas for reasons that I needn't go into. But I have another sister that does. In fact, two other sisters that do. One of them definitely comes and stays with me. The kids come over. We've had up to about 14 people Christmas Day. But the Christmas starts for me anyway when Christmas Eve we all go to the local church.
Yep.
And it's a midnight carol service and communion. And I feel when I've done that, then all the trappings of Christmas, I feel I can enjoy them more. I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to remember why Christmas is here in the first place. There's a danger when you're having a good time that you forget why things are there. So I make sure I remind myself that this is actually the reason why we give gifts, that great gifts of Jesus.
Have you done your shopping?
Oh, don't. Well, actually, I'm ahead this year, probably for the first time. I've done 5. I've got 5
Do you
gifts.
do it yourself?
Yeah, I happen to have gone shopping once about a month ago, and I saw things. I thought, oh wow, I could
for
definitely
you.
use that. And even before I thought who I'd give them to, I thought these. Do you buy for yourself? Because I do.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
If I see something thinking,
Oh,
I
I'd like
love
it.
that, I think well, I'm bound to know someone who will. So I've got 5. I'm 5 ahead this year.
Do you do your own tree and your cards and all that stuff?
Yeah, I do. My tree's arriving today, actually. So when I get home, I will do it.
I'm
You've
glad-
got all
I'm
your
glad-
old bits and pieces that come out every year.
Mostly. I changed them about 4 years ago because they were really falling apart. There's an attachment to old Christmas decorations, isn't there? And,
Yeah.
I had that, but I suddenly thought, no, this is it. They've
I'm
got
glad
to
you
go.
do it in December because we were talking earlier about how people start Christmas so early in the shops and stuff. And
Commercially, it starts
kind
very
of
early.
kills it for you
Horrible.
by the time the actual
Yeah.
sort of December comes round. Let me see if we can take. Should we take another call
Yeah,
before we go
do
on to
it.
the emails? Let's go to Jenny in Kent, please. Jenny, are you there?
Hello.
Hiya, Jenny. Your question for Cliff.
Hello, Cliff.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Back.
And
Oh, you mean after my year off?
yes, I hope your wine improves with age just as well as you have.
Thank you.
I followed your sabbatical year on your website, and you've always said what a wonderful year you had. But did it make you realise that you could never retire or give up singing and being in the public eye? Or did you feel at the end of that year that there is life after fame and that there are other things
Good question.
in life that you would enjoy doing?
Yeah, good question. I think the answer is a bit of both, really. What I decided was that I did not want to retire. So you're right, it made me think I would miss all that too much. And I still feel I have enough to offer. Maybe not set the world on fire, but certainly spark a few things. And I'd like to do that. If I can do that by holding back a little so that I don't let the legion of fans I have that have been so supportive over the years, I would feel guilty to just dump them. It would seem like dumping them. And so it would be nice to just continue gently on. On the other hand, I did, because I went abroad a lot, I went to America because America doesn't know me. And it's so, I can't tell you what it's like to be able to walk around and shop and not be stopped or stared at or anything like that. It was just wonderful. So there is a life after pop, and I had a taste of it, but I keep thinking to myself, well, I can always take that when I want to. I mean, I don't know that America will ever change to me, so I'll always be able to go there to get away from things. which seems-
Jenny mentioned your wine as well, and
Oh, yeah.
for those viewers that missed, there was a documentary, wasn't there? I think when it came up in that, and this is it's your own label wine.
Yes, it is. I mean, I've got a small vineyard of about 16 acres.
That's pop stardom. I've got a small vineyard.
Well, it is only a
Oh,
small
it's
one. You know, it's a
fantastic.
tiny one. I bought a little farm, 30-acre farm, and now half of it is under vines. And I wanted the farm to work. That was the main thing. So for me, when the farmer came trundling with the tractor, tore up all the old vines and put the new ones in and all that, I felt, oh, this is wonderful. The main secret is to have a winemaker, and he's an Australian called David Baverstock. The first tasting of the wine has so hit two particular magazines who are Harper's and Decanters, who are the Bibles for wine bibbers. They gave me such reviews I envy and covet for my records and for my shows. I never had reviews like that for anything that I've ever performed. But the wine, so I have hopes that the wine might be perhaps the first good wine to come out of the Algarve. The north of Portugal makes good wine, but the Algarve has somehow, it's eluded them. Okay. So my little tiny vineyard could well kick off a whole new industry in the Algarve, which I'd be very thrilled about.
Let's hope so. We also have an email here from a girl who says she's nearly 15. How do you feel knowing that your music still has a great quality to appeal to the younger generation? And please, can you blow her a kiss? And that's from Angie Spark and Yvonne Gregory.
Of course I will. Just keep telling your friends to phone the radio station. Well, you know, in the old days, if you actually felt like that about an artist, you phoned your radio station and made requests, and maybe that's what radio stations need. Regardless of whether it's me or not, if you like somebody and you're not hearing them, perhaps, then just get phoning. But thank you very much. I'm really thrilled. Some of you of your age almost has an impossibility to enjoy my music because you wouldn't really get a chance to hear it. I bet your mum's probably a fan.
Yes, she doesn't say her mum. It's Yvonne and Angie.
Anyway, she's brought you up awfully well.
We've got so much stuff here and we can't get through it all, Cliff, because we've also got to listen to you sing the new single, please.
Yes,
so thank you very much indeed. Now, before all of that, we've got Pick of the Soaps. Do you watch the soap operas when you can?
I haven't watched TV for a while, but I am a Corrie fan.
Are you? We've got a clip, Coronation Street, coming up. Oh,
lovely.
Yes. All the gossip and a sneak preview in a minute. See you. Take it away.
That's where you'll find me. Whoa, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. They fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? Red roses too, I'll watch them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really singing, I love you. And I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They learn much more than we'll know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I?
Cliff, I've just got one more question for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
If you could turn the clock back to be young again, would you change anything at all? Says.
No, but I wouldn't mind going back to 30 and staying there.
Thank you so much. We've had